This is your motion to set aside.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
well, what's your basis to set aside?
So I misunderstood the last time we had court, and I thought that I needed to make the payment that morning, and we had court at 2. So I got on Zoom at 2. I did make the payment, the $659 that I told you I was gonna make. But when we at 2:00, they told me to get off Zoom because it wasn't my time and I had missed court. So I do apologize, and that was my fault because I misunderstood. But since then, as like I did put on my motion, I did follow through and make another $659 payment. So that should have taken care of what I was actually brought to court for. And it's just the back and forth with the office. The last time we were in court, they never informed myself or their attorney that they weren't going to allow me to sign my lease. So I've been getting charged that extra month to month since the last time I was in court in April. And we were also told that I was going to be put on this payment plan that they were doing for their tenant. And the resources that I ended up getting, and also the money that I turned in myself, I had a credit with them. So I didn't have to start paying them rent actually until August.
Alright guys, let's break this down. She came in with fire ready to fix what she thought was a simple misunderstanding, a court date missed by accident, a payment made that day, and a system to cold toe care. But this ain't just about $659, it's about how easy it is to get trapped when the system plays Def 1, slip and the whole floor shakes beneath you. Sis survival, not slack and single.
So when I went into the office and I talked to, I think her name is Chloe. I think it's Chloe. When I went in the office and talked to her online, if you don't pay by, I think like the 4th or the 5th day, they add on the following month's water and trash. So I was confused. So I'm like, okay, well, why is this being added on? So she explained that to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to sign a lease because I can't afford the month to month.
Okay, how much is currently owing?
Your Honor, the current balance with January is $870.18. But if I could respond to just a couple of those things.
Yeah.
As far as the water sewer charges go, Ms. Morris is correct. They do get added on, but they're mid-month and they're not due until the 1st of the next month. So they do get put on the ledger, but the due date and the date on the ledger says, like, for example, if the water sewer for February got added on, it would say 2/1 on the ledger.
Got it.
It does not get added on or included in January's balance. It would be due on February 1st. Number one. Number two, Ms. Morris is correct. She did make a $670 payment on December 22nd. And then
Here's where it gets heavy. The rent office never said a word about denying her lease. They charged her extra for going month to month. Quietly, they told her she was on a payment plan, then turned around and doubled down with fees. The money she paid at the communication non-existent. If you think this is about rent, you're missing the whole damn picture.
there's a money order for $105, a money order for $500, and a money order for $659. They're on the ledger for 1/3. In talking to my client, I believe some of those money orders were dated, either 1 or 2 was dated on 12/29, and then either 1 or 2 dated on January 1st. So there was still potentially some monies that rolled over from December. $26, she's technically speaking $26.36 short of the judgment amount that was entered based on the payments that she made. But because it wasn't paid in full in December, by the time those payments that cured the judgment were made, January was then due. So now, in essence, we're here for January. That's what's still due and owing.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay, so she is right that is how it reflects on the ledger. But when you decide to pay online with Arbor Woods, if you don't pay that,
Get one thing straight.
Get one thing straight. This isn't financial mismanagement, it's a financial ambush. She's being hit for water and trash from the future because of some online payment system that punishes late entries, and they got the nerve to add $10 fees for using Money orders this aren't just numbers, this is how people get buried in bills. They already paid.
By the 4th of the month, they add that program, payment program that they use, it adds the following month to your total. And when you pay with a money order, they charge you $10 to pay with a money order. So it's hard to not have a balance if you're already behind. And I have been in contact with the manager about if we can reverse some of those month-to-month fees, because they're now telling me again that I'm getting charged again a month-to-month fee for January. And I asked him, I said, well, can I sign my lease? And he said, well, no, because we only allow you to sign your lease 90 days before, but I've been month-to-month since my first year living there.
Okay, just listen. Here's what I'm looking at, and what Ms. Dornbush is saying is January's rent, right, you were about $26 short of paying off the judgment. January's rent is now due, right?
Yes, sir.
The 840 and some change. When are you going to have that?
I just recently went back to work Tuesday, so I'm paid every week. I can make another $500 payment on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday.
The 17th?
Yes, sir, and I can.
She's been through hell surgery, no liaise, no security, cervical cancer, missed work, and still fighting to stay housed, no kids, no help, just pressure. It's not just unpaid rent, it's unpaid respect, and while she's battling to keep her home, the office is racking up fees. Like it's a game, this system ain't broken, it's working exactly how they built it.
After the office closed, because I work 10-hour shifts, so I don't get off of work until 8
So
p.m.
then you would have the balance paid by the 26th. Well, it would really be the 28th of January.
Yes, in full. But my issue with this is I'm still getting charged as month-to-month fee.
No, I know,
okay.
but you're going to get charged a month-to-month fee. You know, I can't force the landlord to sign a lease, okay? And most landlords, they're not even going to look at you to sign a lease until you get your balance paid.
No, I understand that, but they're telling me now that, because that's why I asked if I could sign for January. He told me, like, well, you have to wait 90 days before the last lease you sign. So I just asked, well, can I get that in writing? Because I have a meeting with Hawk on the 22nd, and I was diagnosed with cervical cancer earlier this year. So I have been off of work a lot. So from me trying to get help from even family, friends, or an agency, they're asking me, well, why are you not in the lease, or why are these certain charges coming up? That $39 doesn't seem like a lot to some people, but
I hear you.
Yeah, so
Judge knows it too, he's fair, real talk, but his hands are tied. He can't force the landlord to be human, but he gives her the 2 weeks she needs because he sees something in her that matters: hustle, honesty, and a damn good reason to keep fighting. The attorney, no objection. Everyone in that courtroom knows she's not running, she's rising.
Try to cajole the landlord to give you a lease until you get this balance paid. And I understand that they may have a waiting period to see if you're going to pay before they're going to give you a lease. I get all of that. There's not a whole lot I can do about this.
I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying. It's just, I think the last time I was here in April, I left here with the credit, and I didn't have to pay rent until August. So my question to the office is, why did y'all not let me sign the lease then? Because I could have avoided these extra charges that I'm dealing with now. And I had surgery August 8th, and that took me out of work for almost 2 months. So I'm going to pay my bills because I don't have the luxury of renting a home from them. I just rent the land. So I still have a mortgage company, and I don't have kids. So it's not a lot of help when you single with no dependents. So I understand, but I just feel like we're going to be here again if.
I know.
Okay.
I hear you.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm just trying to.
I know you are, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Okay. I mean, I hear you, but what I want to do, irrespective of, you and the landlord can try to see what can be worked out about that, is to get you paid. I mean, because what I'm looking at here, and I know over the objection of plaintiff, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get this January clear, because the only thing that would happen is if you paid another $27, you would have paid off this judgment. And then when you talk about added fees, they're going to file again. And then you're going to have court costs. Okay, so it's just going to be more that's going to ultimately get added on. You follow me?
I understand. Are court costs included in that past due balance that I
Yes,
had?
everything should have been included. So what I'm trying to do is do it in a way that you get paid, try to square yourself for January, and then not get another whatever court costs were on this case.
And Your Honor, maybe to the court's surprise, I don't have an objection to the court giving Ms. Morris an opportunity to get the current balance paid up. Although I think Your Honor may have been looking at the February calendar and referencing the 28th.
Right.
I show if she's able to make a payment on the 17th, and then the remaining balance, I think she said on the 24th, which is the following Wednesday. Is that correct?
Right.
Wednesday and Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
28th is a Sunday. That's the only reason why it stood out as maybe being
No,
off.
I don't think I was looking at February. What I did is I went the 17th to the 26th, which was that Friday.
Gotcha.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. You're going to pay $500 on the 17th, and then you're going to pay the balance on the 24th.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pay that 26 and whatever the change is. Can I get that number again? I'm paying that today.
Judge
Cool. This is what resilience looks like. Paper trails matter. Black and white proof matters. She learned that from the judge himself years ago, and now she's using that wisdom to fight for her home. You see, this ain't just a hearing, it's a where-if. Inches, and every payment, every receipt, every word, that's her ammunition. January 26th, she be back, and she's not backing down.